From China's perspective, the situation in Iran right now, is it net positive, net negative, or neutral for Chinese interest?
I can point out a couple positives and negatives from the Chinese point of view. Some positives are that it distracts the US away from the Indo-Pacific and away from China. It focuses the US back again on the Middle East. Another potential positive for China is also that, remember, their rare earths card was and still is their most powerful piece of leverage. And right now, the US defense industrial base is starting to deplete munitions that rely on these rare earth inputs. So that is something where, in a sense, the US is now kind of strengthening that card that China has. On the flip side, though, there are some risks from Beijing's point of view with this conflict dragging on. One is that even though it has taken many steps to build up a stockpile of oil, other goods that would pass through the Strait of Hormuz, there are concerns about what would happen to those supplies should this drag on. And then more broadly, there could be knock-on consequences in terms of disruptions in global trade and the global economy, which China depends on quite a lot.
I mean, I completely agree. I think there are definitely risks for China, but I think the war essentially puts the United States on weaker footing vis-a-vis China. I mean, right now, Washington is looking really strategically distracted, internally strained. The Trump administration has launched a war of choice against Iran with very unclear objectives and unclear end games. The U.S. is looking isolated. All of our allies have basically said, no, we're not going to help out in the Strait of Hormuz. And so this doesn't put the U.S. in a strong negotiating position vis-a-vis Beijing. And I think this gives them leverage because they understand that President Trump, when he goes to China, will need some wins. And so the question is, what is Beijing going to ask for in return?